Okay, once again, we're confronted with the markets, and I'm going to put in the first template that comes up in this Hugo broker. So he's going to have template BO. And what that is the breakout ATR. So in the last video, I'm assuming it's out there. This is a 100 pip grid, and at the bottom is a histogram of the true range. It's not really ATR. It's more true range of 1. And psychotic moves here in 1 hour. This is current drama. This is the if you compress it down to 4 hours, it kind of gets lost. You know, it doesn't show up as heavy. If you want to go to the daily, it's like, yeah, it's kind of getting crazy here. And this is definitely the craziest bar. And this is going to be significant. Anything above whatever you can afford. So this is a 300 pip day. Just under 300. This is pretty crazy up here, right? So if you could get in and out of the market in a very short period of time, in 1 day, I guess, seems short on this chart. That's why if you go to the 4 hour, you got more opportunities, see? Here you can make a lot of money very quickly. And what really happened there is going to be all the pressure that is riding along on the top of this. It keeps marching down, marching down, marching down, marching down. And when it gets enough retracement going, all the trailing buy stop algos are going to be all trailing like this. And when they kick in, if they didn't scalp at least 10 pips out of that, then, you know, you're kind of not very good at managing the account, I guess. If you've got sell limits above this obvious peak, I mean, you got fucking days to come back to here and retag it. So when that happens, I do believe that since this is Sunday here, it's just a matter of inventory, I suppose, in a warehouse. If you're looking down on it, aerial view, that this side of the warehouse, there's plenty of space. And if you ever have a situation where you need, somebody's going to tell you, well, there's a whole zone up here. It's a 100 pip window. Yeah, this is like always crazy, right? So the same could be said for this, although this is a 150 pip winner. Same idea. Lonely wick, retag. So if this is the bullish version, this is the bearish version here. So if you wanted to go out on a limb and put an 8 period simple moving average on there. So your trading is going to go down, right? You're not going to get all the great trades, you know. You're not going to get this high drama smash and grab. Just rips back and forth, and it's all over. And that you're also not going to, I suppose, on this system, moving average systems, you're waiting for it to come back to somewhere around the middle of the road, or the middle of the pitchfork if you're going to do a channel with a precise angled miter box view of how do you slice price over time, basically. I like the geometric on close because it's there's only one way you can hang it. You can't fuck it up. If you don't see a valley, then yes, it's going to be a problem. If you can't see peaks and valleys on the line chart, it's a problem, because right here is going to be the first place you can draw your trend line. This is your first opportunity, although it doesn't mean it's not going to fail, because you could have drawn one here and or you have one here, And you're saying, look, this is going to take off. And it does take off. It does take off. You're so right. But it tags and bags this. This is always going to be a looming situation, is the previous Sunday. And it's double tagged in there. You could have made 60 pips coming off of even claiming that this double bottom is a top. But it doesn't mean that it didn't stop you out. If you have your stop here and you're short and you wonder why you got raped, because you have your stop sitting there. Because don't forget, you're a trend trader and it's going down this beautiful channel, and you sold here and you're like, well, that's just fucking beautiful. Look at this. Let your profits run. And then it comes back and it wipes out your stop. Well, what do you say about that? Well, that's somebody else's trade entirely, and in the proper sizing, I'm sure they're making a fucking living doing that. Or the one robot's able to pull that off, but not continually, right? So multiple robots doing multiple strategies, and this is like a pivot. I never understood what people meant by a pivot. I'm like, well, do I buy or sell there? And it's really not about that. I suppose I don't think that this price means any more than any other price, but I think in the vacuum sense of this being the last known, the trade here would have been to sell into this today. Always to sell into it if you want to sell. And it's just a matter of how much punishment can you take. If you could take 200 pips of punishment, you can make 200 pips. Let's say you make break even, but you're right 80% of the time. And when you actually you really load the wagon, you risk 40 to make 20. And then you risk 60 to make 30, then you're risking 80 to make 80 and risking 80 to make 150. Can you wait for 150 pip take profit? Yeah. On this chart it wouldn't be that hard at all. Yeah, it's 200 pips. So it's so many pips here on this weekly. Coming back to Sunday's price, yeah, I mean, it's going to, if it falls in this hole, and there's probably some guys short on this top. A few people, I suppose. And then, since this is a 4-hour chart, look at all this hemming and hawing. Plenty of time to get the fuck out if you went long on this trend line. So if you're going to trade multiple positions, it's not going to matter as much. But if you can trade single positions, if you didn't take profits here, then it breaks a trend line and you're like, oh, fuck, should I sell? And then your algo goes into sell mode here. Here's where the whipsaw begins. Here's where you're just kind of never going to win. If you trade the same size on every trade, you don't have any discrimination. Like, you can't tell that's really one you want to try to, like, you can see it coming. You're like, yeah, there's probably, especially when it stalls out and everybody's not sure what's going to happen. And it's very tentative. And that window for entry, I'd say the time to get in at the market or build a position is going to be anything down here in this really low ATR when the market's dead. Now here you could have gone long here. I would have done this trade easily for 50 pips. I mean, you're going to buy this plunge below the floor. It comes sweeping back up. Doesn't quite make it. It comes to this, oh, just picking a trend line there. And sure, it hits it again. And yeah, if your stop's back here and your robot back test, and turns out that your robot would have made this much money if he wasn't running such a tight, dumb shit stop on the top of this obvious place. You know, the trend systems, the 5-period moving average, they're very tight with the market. They have to scalp a lot because they're never going to be able to ride the big mega wave. You know, this 500 pip move, you need a 300 pip stop. I mean, realistically, right, if you're going to, but with multiple positions, you're gonna peel them off as need be. Sure, you can't withstand a 500 pip move into the abyss. Like when the euro takes out the lows from, I don't know, like from Neverville, you know, we're talking about the wheels coming apart. You see, Bitcoin could drop to like 10 grand, 5 grand. It'd be kind of cute, you know. Why chase after it? It's kind of funny. You could hide out in a cheap price because why would anybody give a fuck if it's regulated? If it's down to like it's $1,000 of Bitcoin. People are like, yeah, whatever. Okay, so it's what we always knew it was. It was a transfer method. Okay, you got okay. So I mean, I just can't imagine being long from like, yeah, I'm long at 55 because it's Fibonacci. I bought a bunch of 55 grand. I put my life's, I don't know, people lose their mind over that stuff. But just for us, you know, if you have at least two methods of trading available, you have the momentum trade, which would be your trend trade, but we have to realize that all trends come to an end. Or the trend trade presupposes that you are going to have a bias. And you're just looking for setups that fit that bias. But you could also see that, yes, it isn't an uptrend, but let's not forget about the structure. Like what could happen vertically. So I see the prices vertically, but you could see it as a football field. Either way, looking down on top of this tug of war. And when you go to the monthly charts, you know, even though they're creeper gear, at least you can tell where you're on the map, on the globe. Like if you go to the monthly chart, it's not tradable from the sense of, gee, I'm waiting to pull the trigger at the end of the month. But it is definitely eye-opening as far as where the market could go in the next, well, just in the depth that it could move, you know. It doesn't really tell you how far it could move, but you can just see how, based on a lot of data, it could go anywhere. I mean, so I would, when I see it dropping on the monthly, my thought is, how can I buy this? Because I like to catch a falling knife. And if I see it going up, I'm like, how can I sell into this piece of shit? Like I take a kind of a bad attitude towards the instrument. So it's hard for me to sell because I really feel good for, I don't feel bad for anybody's currency, but yeah, fuck that. You know, sell things. I had to sell it today. So if you bought it today, I'm sorry. But, you know, if you're going to realize there's a scalp in every kind of counter trend trade, and it may not be the 300 pip retracement, because if it keeps going up, it is in a fucking so-called trend into this uncharted water. But if it's really uncharted water, we're talking about a very fast and nasty move, so very quick and dirty move. And it's over. Poof. It's like it never happened, and the market comes back to the so-called fair value, the mean. The doldrums, the 80% of like it's going nowhere. So occasionally you get these rambunctious moves. This would be the most volatile week so far based on this spike in the true range of that last known get her done move. But I'd say now it's going to be drifty. And maybe there's a couple nice little, I would sell into this now, probably if it went to new highs for sure. Always new highs and new lows, even though that's only going to happen 3 times a week or 2 times a week, that you could sell into these insane prices. Like right now, this would have been the most insane price this week so far. As you took out the high of Friday, you went just blasting in that for 100 pips. It comes back, and you only have to go back 10 bars. You should be able to see all the trades you missed right here. Buying here, you know, just for a scalp bounce here. It says 9 o'clock at night. So the week's half over. It looks like we're going to punch up, but then if it just drifts up, you can capture maybe 40 pips coming off the top of that. You have to think in I'm on the 4-hour chart now. On the monthly chart, I was saying buy. That was last video. That was about 8 weeks ago. I did a video about anytime the euro's below this price, I'm saying load the wagon. Now that is a lot of pips off the floor. I would definitely be cashing out on the rooftops of the monthly euro dollar. It's painfully obvious, right? Big ass scalp off the supply here on this rooftop of the monthly bar. A no-brainer scalp. But hey, you know, I buy it if it pulls back. But when it was down here, I'm like, really? So you can tell me that, oh yeah, well, you know, the right, the interest rates, you know, oh right, yeah, that's right. And now they probably won't be able to raise them. I don't know. Here's the ultimate structure, waiting for it to come back to traditional. I'm not going to wait for that. I'm going to buy it if it drops, and I'm going to sell it if it goes up. So go right to the 4-hour chart. Let's go to the daily chart. So the daily chart is like, oh yeah, I just slammed off the ceiling. It's hell bent on keeping going up here. That's the daily. So this is all this cut back here is like really obvious on the 4-hour chart, where you know the daily it's kind of scrunched down. Here it looks painfully obvious. In fact, here you've got 2 chances to do the same trade, whereas in the daily it just cuts in there once. Look at this daily chart. You see all the trades in there? It's insane. But you have to be like, you have to have a 300 pip stop to start selling above that wick. You wouldn't lose any of that position, right? That's like 140 pip a drama on the dailies. So it keeps wicking into that previous high. I think the 4-hour is safer because you got 6 bars a day. And it's really obvious here where the fucking trade is. Like if you can't see that, then just stop. Don't even try to grid trade. This is grid trading. 100 pip grid. Well, you're trying to make 80 pips, let's say. You're trying to make 40 pips with an 80 pip stop. Can you do that on this chart? You should be able to do it. You're just looking to buy undercuts, big, deep, like obvious peaks and valleys. There's a chance for a peak and a valley on a 4-hour chart. And there's not much noise here. Got 6 bars a day. So 6 pieces of data gives you at least one zigzag. One zigzag to hang your hat on if you want to, or you're going to wait a whole week to draw your trend line. So you say it's in an uptrend. Here's the top of the channel. Where are you going to get in? Well, I'm not going to use this for my entry. I'm just using that to say it's going up. My entry is always going to be a trailing buy limit where all the stops are stacking up. So people have stops. They're doing cancel replace, I suppose, right? That's the most money management systems run like that, right? With the cancel replace robot. It's going to come in here and clean up your mess. You know, you went long here, you went hog long right there, so you're just pulled the trigger right under here perfectly, and now you're going to be stuck in this long position. And the robot's going to babysit you through it by cancel replace on your, and he runs a trailing stop, and then he gets stopped out about here. All right, well, you know, that's where I'm going to go long. And I'll go long for that, and then same thing here. He's got his protection here, his sell stops. Those are my buy limits. Gobble, 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 gobble. Then I've got, you probably moved your stop back to here because you didn't want to get stopped out. This is the idea of retail stop hunting, Well, if that's true, then you got to do cancel replays, keep moving your limits down till you get filled, and build a position in the opposite direction. Well, you have to wait about, this is like a day of buying. Just keeps hammering and hammering, and it finally scoops out here. And then rockets engulfment. So by here it's already engulfed it. If it can close there, well, it's not really engulfed. Actually, the true engulf would be starting here and trying to take this out. That's a total... and this looks like an inverted hammer if you could get a chart that plots every 12 hours or 18 bar chart, right? 18-hour bar chart. So all these zigzags, like you could be making plenty of money here on this blast, on this counter trend blast, or this blast down, this sell. This right now, it's obvious we're cutting north. So you know what? I put sell limits here. Buy limits down here. I don't know which way it's going to go. Looks like we're going to go up, so maybe get some drifty sells up here. If we take out this high by Wednesday, tomorrow, it's going into Wednesday, then comes up here, does this nonsense. That's money. Like, all this nonsense is money. It doesn't have to go anywhere. You could be a buyer, you could be a seller. It doesn't even matter which direction. This is ranging. That's a range trade. Sure, you could say, well, you could build a long position here, but you could have also traded every half hour. You could have been getting in and out of shit for every half hour. So your robot or you are able to churn this, but the only problem, the spread's going to start cutting into your profits if you try to just churn this thing out, right? Here, yeah, I guess you did make money today in this because you had a nice rip, even though this is claiming more drama. That's a 4-hour chart, so I'm sure within the coming back off this high there was another bounce inside that today. But what's the next trade is the question. Always the question, what's the next trade? So Sunday is always going to be dead. Here's Sunday. It's like the lowest. This is kind of rambunctious. Here's a very dead zone just before the blast up. Today's drama, the blast up into the rarely seen price of above last week's high. Top tick Tommy, maybe goes like this, maybe goes like that. We don't care, because if we sell here, I want to take this off the table. I put some buy limits down here for maybe, well, at least for tomorrow. That's always going to be a great place to buy, always. And look at this one. This is where another instance where you have all your orders stacked up into this. You could scalp just a wick and be done with it, or you're going to ride the engulf. So this is a engulfment of maybe the previous day. I get a bullish close or whatever. Yep, it's the end of the week, bullish. Then you get a mild pullback to fair value. People are buying on this moving average, I'm sure of it. The question is, when we as soon as we take this out and we go into this vacuum, how long do you think that's going to last before they fuck that vacuum, right? So they come in here and they're done with it, right? It's like, okay, we figured out how to cheat on that. Let's go rape these people. Yeah, let's come after all this price here. It's not that it's coming after you, but let's face it, it's rigged. Right, this is the harvesting part. Okay, guys, everybody, what we need to do here is that there's people that want us to be self-sufficient. We can't have that. No, it's just the malaise when the market gets all, and this is your classic triangle. And then she falls through the floor, and you're like, "Oh, babe, I thought you quit doing heroin." "Oh no, babe, I'm still getting high." "Oh, okay. I'll come over tonight. Let's see what's going on here." This is most people, you know. It's the market's even worse, don't you think? It's really more, even less ambition than a good crack whore. Just drifts around. Yeah, look at this stuff. So that thing's nuts. That's over. Last week's drama. Now we go for the new highs. Trap all these breakout people that trade breakouts of the. Finally got confirmation. Joe said to buy some of the euro dollars, so I bought here today. Trailed my stop, just like I was taught, and they stopped me out. Motherfuckers stopped me out. So yeah, unless you're gonna, or you just sell into that, and then you become the guy that's like, well, I'm just gonna martingale into that top tick Tommy shit. You can go either way on this trade. Counter trend. It's ranging at an angle trade. Really, it's just kind of. This is the cleanest trade, I think. 8 hours, just boop, you're out. Takes this, or waiting to get filled. Waiting all week. Actually, waiting. This is the big problem: is the waiting. You know, nobody wants to wait that long for an entry, do they? Don't have a choice. You have to wait. But this is the area you're looking to fill price-wise. As soon as you tag into that, there's a scalp, and then look at that, nice, beautiful. That's 150 pips. Then it becomes somebody's ultimate buy. And that looks like, yeah, I'll try to go up there and hunt down some more of them goddamn bears. Go bear hunting. This is a comeback retag. I guess if you consider from here to here, which is 400 pips here, that's going to be the box that you're trapped in. Then finally comes back to in the middle of the road, and then punches through. More than jump the creek there. So it gets out of the box. She's off to the races. It's just such a fucking painfully slow process. It'll take the whole fucking week to take out the high of the week now. So my view is, let's put in some tickets in here to buy on limits. So probably going to come back into this hole. And I'll start selling maybe above this rooftop on the 4-hour chart. This seems like the sweet spot. We're currently in this zone. The trap. I wouldn't want to be, so I hate these trades, Asian session like this. If I was long, I would really not, I'd kind of want to just start getting out. So I figure this is the sweet sell spot here, there, and then all the way up there. Just way the fuck up there. And it can get crazy, so always put your orders in really wide. Keep them very wide, and this way, when they fill, it'll be an alert to you if you're watching. If you're watching the market, which I usually watch it on my phone. At least I watch the prices on the phone so I can see how much money I'm making and losing. As soon as I see I got filled, I'm like, oh, there you go. Sometimes you get filled faster than you think, sometimes slower. All the tickets that are pending above this, there was a scalp in there. Otherwise, on Friday, you would have sold heavily into this and then peeled this much off coming back in. It's worth almost 100 pips coming back in when you just close on a Friday here. Now we go up about 180. Down 150 now, drifting up. I want to be a seller tonight from here and then all the way up. And definitely tomorrow, if we can come back to this. This is pretty easy pile of tickets to lay in. Just drag and drop, grab them and stick them in. On the sell side, I'm going to stack them up like this. I don't really use this. I can see these moves. I can see this is a giant move. But, you know, for people that care, I suppose it's down here. I could, you know, I could just do it. The charts it takes up too much real estate, in my opinion. I want the vertical dimension to be pretty obvious. So I just actually don't use that indicator, but I know people like to see it. So it's just trying to be a crowd pleaser, I guess. The grid's bad enough, right? The 100 pip grid's disturbing as hell, so I try to be not to harsh your melon, but yeah, I want to sell up here. Let's sell at the 100-yard line. That's good enough reason for fucking me. I don't really need too much of a reason to trade, honestly. I guess this is the problem. It's too easy to trade. But it depends what time of day it is. So the news came out today. It must have been something crazy. Market took off, then it ripped back. Then who knows where the final destination is? Who cares? Because if I want to just start selling here for scalps, but put most of the tickets here, just put most of the stacks here. Same thing on the buy side. I'm going to start buying here, and I'm just going to martingale in every basement floor here. Now here would be a fat ticket bank, I could tell you that. Right there's going to be a mega supply. Then super mega supply is down here. Anything below here is like mind-blowing. So something really crazy happened in the world. It may take 2 weeks to get down here, but can you imagine like what the wick would look like if it? This is how you get these insane rejections of price. This has to be amazing. This price here, you ever think we're coming back here? Probably, maybe. I mean, it's like 97 cents on the euro. So these are crazy times, but these are always crazy times. I can't think of anything on this chart that's not fucking outlandish, regardless what the news is. People always lose their fucking minds in these markets. They can't believe they can't believe how it moves, how fast, and how slow. I think the slow part's the tough one. The fast people are like, oh, that was good. Was it good for you? I don't know. I was on the wrong side of that trade. So if you take a bi-directional approach, this is why, you know, it's helps to be unisex when it comes to trading. Zero gender, eunuch. I don't know what did they say. It's not. Is that one of those? Is that on the spectrum there? Yeah, just don't take hell bop approach. You have yourself deballed. There you go. I can trade now. I'm not distracted at all. So the sell limits are going to start on these rooftops, just for an obvious place where you know there's got to be a lot of people waiting to get the fuck out here. Because they bought here and they're like, oh man, if it just came back to break even, you know, I'd get out. I'd never do that trade again, I swear. I swear I'll never try trend lines. Those trend lines don't work. I put a trend line right here and fucking broke the trend line right here. I sold and it fucking what? Jesus. I'll never take another trading course as long as I live, son. I think it's just going to trade supply and demand, actually. This is what my whole thing is, supply and demand. I know, it's old-fashioned. There's supply up here, demand up here. What do you call it? It's cross trade. So depending if you're Which was euro dollar are you going to go? This is a nice, this is just a great classic. I guess we're done with that price. Ba-bam. Rip. Oops. She's running out of gas now. That's the dream of the bulls, is it's going to be look like this. So the utopian trend is going to be something like this. Yep, she's going to go like this. And then I'm going to sell a pant load here, and it's going to come back to here. I'll scalp it to the top of that. After that, I don't know if it's going to go like this or if it's going to go like that. So I would say that always, how many steps ahead in the chess game are you going to look? All right, I can see we come down to here. Maybe it doesn't make it. It doesn't even hit this target. It's a big trap, and it just goes on for a while, and then it collapses. All right, there's that. So, unfortunately, there's a million outcomes past this move. But probability of coming back here, pretty good. I don't know, is there FOMC coming out or something? Turns out they raised the interest rates. Wah, wah, wah. Look back in time, we can see those situations when it gets like that, and we say we shouldn't be trading. Of course, if your orders have expired, like mine only lasts like 8 hours or 12 on the outside, I'm never going to see that trade actually, because I'm going to place these buy limits in. If we get near this zone, sure, I'll place some in tonight and go to sleep, which means the market has to go boom, which it could. It totally could happen. If you've slept at anywhere on this chart, go to sleep at any time. You got your sell limits up here, crop. Go to sleep. Maybe you sleep for 12 hours. Or you're all fucked up. You sleep for 12 hours. And you got a stack of like amazing, fucking amazing stuff up here where you got these big fat tickets up here, you know. Couple crazy fucking and outrageous shit up here just in case. Always got to have just in case tickets. And if you can come out in front of the market, if you can load the wagon on this subtle little trap, and you consider this to be your first target, this floor, that's a pretty good trade. For high probability. High probability of making at least that, and then the next high probability is going to be selling this top, and every 30 pips I'm selling, sell. You got to have enough dry powder, enough money in the account, so when it gets up here, you can really fucking be selling it. really fucking selling. So here, the top, this is a hard top. She cuts up here, and oh my god, that is high probability. It's not a lot of pips. More sell limits into the new highs. Go against these fucking trend traders, by the way. These guys that are drawing these lines, you're going against them, and you're making money. I guess they're going to make money when it finally makes it to the outside envelope. But the concept of selling this is the same concept of buying this, so your reason for entry, my reason for entry is this hole. Yours is projected off of this tilt of the first price pulse up. This is the idea of confirmation, but if it's also confirmation to get the fuck out if you're short here. If you can see that, and you are long here, like if this doesn't bother you to have a 200 pip pullback, otherwise you should be buying into that. So it's kind of hard to want to take that trade even though it's going to make money. Because you're on the counter trend. You see the counter move, but you're not going to trade that. You want that big, long move. Which is why people think that if we put a long period moving average on a 50 period moving average, that, oh my God, that's going to be the better trade. Because, no, it doesn't make any sense. If I double load account, if I trade bigger size than you, counter trend trading, I'll just make more money than you. You can trend trade all day long, but unless you trade big enough and accurate enough, then it just doesn't make any sense. Sure, you're making money trend trading, but if you range trade the market, because 80% of it's ranging, if you know how to range trade it, there's more trades. So if you're better at trading, then you can do more trades. Or you got the way to get in and out of it. Take profits, because, you know, when you see that that is a ridiculous price, when you think, wow, that was really, the market's really moving my direction, I'd be very suspicious of that. The volatility is going to be great, and then it's going to be insane, ridiculous. And so it's very, also the end of the session, when there's a panic into the end of the week. Like this week could just be bullish the whole week, and when you get to Friday, you're like, okay, well, if you're in a small position and you're short, okay, well, that's how that is, you know. Every position's unique because it's all different sizes. It's like snowflakes. And if you just trade 3 tickets, then it's very difficult, because they have to be pretty big tickets to make it worth your while. And I know people can do it, but I just don't. I'm just too tired. I can't do it. Like I don't know how people find the energy when you could just hit a button and drop like 20K in a few seconds. Why would you sit there and get out a fib tool and think, well, this is certainly another piece of confirmation. I've got, let's see, I got a 6. It probably is some fucking 618 pullback here, by the way. I'm just looking at it. I'm going to call my 618 from this point here to here. This is going to be 618 of this. Like, well, you don't even know how to do Fibonacci. Some guy said I didn't know how to do Fibonacci. I'm like, okay, sure. I know Fibonacci. Like from here to here, right? We'll say on closing prices only. So Fibonacci works better on closing prices because you can get some. But there's a 618. The problem there is a 618 instead of this thing. So do you want to do this trade or do you want to do this trade? Like it's really 618. It's not going to save you from worrying about like, do you want this trade or do you want this one? And then how big does that position have to be? And that's the whole issue, is position sizing, frequency of trading. So the frequency of trading is taken care of by these tickets. They're only going to last until this time on the chart. Actually, that's a little too long. The buy limits, if I drop them right now, they'll be like this. 2 bars. They last for 2 bars. And then another stack comes in here. So I can put 12-hour tickets above here, 12-hour tickets below that, and just constantly run 8 hours in front. As soon as maybe news is coming out or something, as soon as we go up here 100 pips, I'm selling everything on the way up to the 100-yard line. On the way down, I'm going to buy everything till this fucking thing crazy. Like this whole, I'm going to buy this, I'm just going to go nuts. So these schemes work in these situations like this. You could just buy a 100 pip window, but we didn't get filled on the whole thing. So here it didn't pay off as much as it did on, say, buying everything, oh gosh, below here. That was a pretty decent trade. Buy everything below here, pretty decent. This is the big kahuna payoff. If you can afford to buy all this shit here and then really load up because of this price that you see on the left side, you look left because you got to see these voids. It's anything below here, anything below this area. These two spots. Here's where you got to just go nuts. Just below the 100-yard line. Full retard long there. You are just so loaded. And you could have got out at the end of the day. Boom. Coming all the way back to this fucking high drama moment. Just get the fuck out. Come in Sunday night ready to buy down here, but you really didn't get filled until here. Or if you're very aggressive, you're going to put buy limits below every 4-hour bar. Buy limits in here. So this is very aggressive trading because you're not waiting for it to come down and do that last stop hunt thing. And here you actually didn't fill out as many tickets as if you would have started buying this whole vacuum. You are fucking so long by this point. You're like, holy shit. And this rip by the end of the week is better than this rip. And this actually, by the end of the week, it's up here. I mean, this is just to the end of the week. And the line chart gives you the narration or the story of price. The story of price. It is the path of price, really. This is bursting nuts up, carving out this hole. And that's high drama. And this is all 300 pips, 350 pips. Unbelievable. Now it's just drifting. Whatever. The party's over. Buy limits stacking up here. Puts a 4-hour buy limits right here. Puts some 4-hour sell limits close to the market. Since it's Asian session, if it was going to be U.S. markets opening, I might put 2-hour sell limits up here because I'm picturing a fast move and I want my tickets to disappear because the probability of fill, if I put I got 1-hour scripts, if I put them in here like this, that means that the market can spike up like this and rip back. I will make money. This is the 4-hour chart, but here's the instance where that happens. If I have expirations here that just last 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, just a big clusterfuck. The faster it can rip down, the higher probability these 15-minute scripts, which are the least riskiest, they'll fill also, along with the 4-hour and the 2-hour. So when you have sell limits above this place here, you know this is ripe for the selling. And you stack in 15-minute and 30-minute and 1 hour and all these different time frames. So when you are approaching this line, you got to be dropping tickets that expire in like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour. Since that move took 8 hours, so it was an 8-hour move, about 10-hour, 12-hour move in total. You filled so many of those tickets, and if you wrote it back to the next supply zone, so it's like bookends. It's like the creation of a pin bar. It's like just bookends right there. What else? Going back to, so that's just one template. I did a whole video on back testing it, but that's kind of nonsense. Everything seems nonsense. The Bitcoin, I think, is the buy into the end of the year. The gold to me is a sell, selling up into this kind of a fail into the floor. Gold's taking off. Everybody's excited about gold, but gold's done. Gold's not going anywhere. It's just going to torture people and go sideways. It's just going to break your heart. It's like a relationship that never goes anywhere. Nothing gets done. It's kind of like voting. Why bother? I can see why people stay home. They're like, yeah, that's right. They've got no, they're printing. You just print your own stuff now. You print it at home. That's why that stuff wouldn't go through the scanner. People printed that stuff at home and brought it in. Yeah, I got my stuff right here. My balance right. What? You say you're charting Bitcoin, and that's gonna. Yeah, no, this is gold. So gold's making this big, high drama move, but dude, it's just coming into like bullshit. You think gold's gonna take out the high up here? This is another bit. This is like Bitcoin dream. Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Yeah, gold's going to $10 million. Dude, gold's so fucking over it, done. Put a fork in it. Put a fork in it. We're over it. Here, I'm gonna take this down and put it on fucking delete the objects off this. Let's put this back to reality. Gold's put a fork. I don't have a yearly chart, and if I did, you'd say, well, yeah, it's going to fair value. Now what? Nothing. Get ready for, let's be realistic. Let's not sugarcoat this. This is going to go like sideways like this forever now. Like this. You're done. Here's the trading range for gold. Are you prepared for this? For the rest of your life until you're dead, it's going to trade from $1,000 to $2,000. Like my computer can't even handle doing the graphics on that. Even my computer can't believe that price range. It's going to tread water like that forever. Right there, from 1,000 to 2,000. You want to live like that the rest of your life? Oh no, it's really going. It's in an uptrend. No, it's going up. Give me a break. And Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Yeah, it is. You'll see. You'll see I was right about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's coming back to the starting gate. They finally let the air out of that balloon. Simplicity is the way. I'd buy that all day long. It's 16,000 instead of 62,000. Yeah, I like this. It's not 618. It's deeper pullback than 618. It's a mega deep pullback. Hey man, RSI is at 20. I say anytime RSI is 20 in the monthly, I'm interested. Bitcoin coming back to the beginning. Beautiful fucking entry window there, huh? Kind of checks all the boxes. Can it break this trend line? I'd say let's load the wagon and see if Bitcoin can't break this trend line. How hard can this be? This is a momentum challenge I'm putting up to Bitcoin. Hey, all you Bitcoin traders. I just put a trend line on your price action. Yeah, brace yourselves. I'm coming after your trend line. Dollar CAD. Nice buy. Let's buy this as it plunges back to earth. That was my other scalp, is to buy this on the plunge. Nasdaq's a sell there. RSI. Weekly Nasdaq, kind of a sell, but you know, long term it's a buy. What are you gonna do? I mean, life goes on, man. No, I don't know. It looks like people are gonna go back to analog. So I sort of got people going analog. I think they're gonna go back to industrials, man. I think tech's gone. Tech's done. NASDAQ's fucked. People seen enough of their cell phones. Look at this reversal forming in RSI. People have had enough of the fucking Facebook and what is it, TikTok. All this, people are over it, man. You can tell. What do you think, we're stupid? Can't tell when the fucking party's over? People have a short attention span, too. Don't forget that. Even oil's had it. Who needs oil? People aren't even going anywhere, man. Come on, man. Look at that. It's about to curl over and turn over. Oil's about to turn over on the monthly and go, bye-bye. It's coming back to fucking $10 a barrel. No, I think here's where oil's going. All the way back to this price. What, 63 bucks? Well, it'll be back at... don't forget, this was the $5 a gallon, at least where I live. And this made no sense. The price of went up to $4 during this sell-off. So that means that if we can take this wick out in the long term, I'm talking really long term. Yeah, you're done. You got to come back to here. As long as the volatility, the other problem is the volatility. As long as the market's quiet, it's not bad. It's this kind of stuff here. This kind of freaks people out. This is the 2008 real estate debacle. So, in retrospect, we have never experienced anything that horrific in quite some time in the oil market. That is fucking nuts. That is nuts. But not to the market. You know, the market doesn't have a gauge on volatility. Every day is every year is a IQ test or a depth check test for the brutal insanity of price swingage. And in a classic drifting coil move. Look at this thing, just volatility just drives up, and then lo and behold, some other fucking thing happens. Shabam. Yeah, that's what happens when you this is how you had that nice cheap gas. Oh, what was that? Or you're on the way to it, right? So this is the bull market. Here's COVID takes this out. Yeah, we were just definitely trying to. I think this is the supply we hit. That is pretty hard to hit that again. Yeah, maybe it drifts up. I mean, it's going to take another year to even attempt that price. I think these are close. It's closer to that's just going to fall down here and dick around, and then oil will go sideways, and all the volatility will dry up, and people will say, you know what, we've been fucked, we've been raped, we've been scammed, we've been denied any kind of clicking. But you're clicking with your money now, so you don't, I guess the big driver now is the crowd is driving the ship, and the parasites are on the ship, and they're not getting off. So you just have to ride it out, I suppose. Every day's a grind. Every year's a grind. In some years, I mean, I just still can't even believe this over here, though. I remember those times. I was like, wow, that is some crazy. I'll never forget it. This is when they said that gas was going to be $10 a gallon, and that crude oil was going to go to $300 a barrel right here. This is, you read the news back here. Just go look. You want to see how people just couldn't believe this. Forget Bitcoin or anything. That was some crazy times back there, man. That was just nuts. I went to a coffee shop and I said, you should buy stock. People said, we can't buy any stocks because we're already in them. We're down. We're really down. Oof. Real huge order imbalance there. That was tough sailing. I don't know. A lot of people got crushed in that one. So we're looking ahead. I'm looking ahead here. Sell the oil. Sell the gold. Buy the Bitcoin. It's the logical choice. It's the cheapest thing on my charts. I'd say, yeah, the euro dollar. I'm gonna have to sell the euro dollar here too, though. That rides over. Oh, I'll sell and buy it really close to the market. So I'm so close to the market. That's my trick. I'm close to the market in a certain time frame. So gold looks just like oil. Well, gold looks just like the euro. And the dollar against the CAD. That's technically a buy as soon as it comes down here for my scalp. That is a buy. Let me see, make the buy argument there. Yeah, sure. Now, see, that's another one of these disappointing heartbreaks. It's going sideways. Sideways market. Almost guaranteed. Sideways. I'm going to buy this on slight dips. Monthly chart is down, which says to me, get ready to buy. Buy a dip into a window, and that's good enough for me. So I put all my tickets just in here like this. I thought that was my rectangle. Just right here in this box. I'm going to put them right there. Stack them up. The sell would have been off these rooftops. You have to have some deep pockets for that sell, but you're going to sell more up on this. This is the steepest supply zone is the difference between these two rooftops. That's the place. Also, it's this top. All the way to that top. Really, you should be able to have enough money to sell up here, actually. Because if you could start selling here all the way to that one, that is a chunk of money. And you're up on every trade. If you can withstand that crush. Even the RSI got that one right. Selling in this window in the RSI. So 2 reasons there. Here's your confirmation right there, son. You got 2 reasons right there to put a trade on. Don't be getting too fancy now with these indicators. I told you, Jimmy Bob got burned using that indicator. Oh, he said it was really not that difficult until, well, you know what happened to him. He put on that big trade there. He had to turn his wife into a hooker. That's right, he turned her to a working girl. Just to get his account built back up, and then sure enough, he blew up the account again. She had to go back on the streets, and oh, it's rough. It's rough. I can hear him next door fighting sometimes. Jimmy Bob, go easy on her this time. I know you made money on that last trade, but you can't just beat on her like that hard. Oh, it's below the 50-yard line. That's a buy. She says okay to buy it as long as it's below the 50, right here in the pullback. Yeah, that's it. That's a setup. Well, I got prepared to buy next month here, so we might have to sell the car. So I have to buy something in here. I need enough money to buy here also. I like this. This is even better down here. But hey, you know, it's the end of the month and well, it's the end of the year. Shit. Looks like we could just end up like here, but at the end of the year, everything's just stable. It would be funny if you ended down here and it's like nothing ever happened. It's like nothing ever happened this year. How'd your trading go this year, son? Pretty good, yeah. It closed here and then it just kind of like, well, I never got it up here. It's just kind of like, gosh, it's kind of closing right here. The closing price at the end of the year. I can do a yearly chart on here. Here's my yearly moving average, my monthly moving average of 1. Manual trading. True manual analysis is what I'm into. Here's a 1-year moving average. She's going nowhere. Going nowhere fast. That is a crazy market, man. Well, what's to come? More bullshit. More no trends. More noise. More bullshit. My forecast for the market is pure ranging bullshit. Untradeable for trend traders. Don't trend trade unless your girlfriend says it's okay. Do not trend trade. By all means, avoid trend trading. Avoid having a bias. Avoid trading in general. Oh, you can watch the charts. I guess that's safe. Now that's going to be the lowest risk trading you're going to do is just staring into the chart. Got to see your entry though. Got to see your setup. Got to see how you think it makes sense to repeat the same trade over and over again. Or are you the adventurous type? Do you like fresh trading strategies that you can test with real money up front with no back testing? You should subscribe to our Chaos Rules, All Price Matters newsletter we have available. We don't have subscriptions, we have prescriptions. It's a completely different program. You take a pill and you can see the charts the way everybody that takes that pill sees the charts. It's a magic charting pill. You're going to need a prescription for that. But it's worth it. Pop a couple of those in the morning. Fucking charts reveal all the secrets. Price action secrets. Not any kind of secrets. These are secrets of the price action. The gods of price actions, the ones that really move the markets. The universal price continuum. Yeah, isn't there some kind of I like the cloud traders though. This would be a tanky-ish. Ooh, that's gonna be I like your cloud trading system. And you say this works better than Elliott Wave, huh? Really? I don't know. I kind of like the MACD because, you know, this is what professionals use. The MACD. Yeah, that's it. I like that one. Bitcoin, man, that's pretty fascinating. Pretty fascinating. All right, back to the movies. Looks like drifty wifty here on the euro dollar. I don't see a trade. Looks like a buy on the 30-minute here. If it pulls back, I'll buy it. I'll put some 2-hour tickets in here and go take a nap. Just going to put a rack in here. Let's go like this. Boomity boom boom. And go take a fucking nap. Okay, come down, film me, man. 8-hour tickets on your market set, film me.